You're listening to KOUG Radio. Listen live online at KOUGradio.org.
Hello, welcome back to Talk Now, Cry Later with Payton. I forgot how to do this because I haven't done this in a really long time. It's only been like a month or something, but I just, not doing that, not doing this. But it's good. We're good. We're living. We're surviving. Yeah, so let's get into it. So, as I have to say as a disclaimer, this is not a podcast to diagnose, treat, prevent any mental health issues. We just briefly talk about that for funsies, because in a world where it's really hard to talk about that, I want to make it easier. And the best way to make it easier is just to have fun with it. And there's always going to be those group of people that find this offensive or not funny. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. But at the end of the day, I'm not sorry, because we all go through these experiences. And I'm not claiming to be a doctor here. So don't act like I'm a doctor here. That's all I ask. It's really quite simple. But enough with the sass. Disclaimer, we talk about mental health and we talk about other funny things though. But if you don't want to listen, you don't have to. I'm not your mom. I don't care what you do. So today I didn't really plan on coming to the studio and recording. I just kind of mindlessly walked in here after one of my classes. And I was thinking about how this was like, there was like a big kind of like, not really big, there was an ice storm, stupid, in Washington. No, it was like it snowed and then it froze over for a week and then nothing was open for a week because we're scared and nobody puts chains on their tires, so that's how that goes. But anyways, there was a week off of like school and work, and like, most people were staying inside or going out very loosely, and there's a lot of downtime, too much downtime. I hate being trapped in the house. That's not fun for me, but I did my best to make it work, but it's okay. We're here now, so it's fine. And a lot of thoughts, a lot of processing I had to do. And one of the things I was processing was that hold on, I just lost it. Okay, I came back. I had to just take a minute to think. One of the things I was processing is that no matter how dumb you think you are, and a lot of people think they're dumb, and we're so hard on ourselves. We think we're so stupid, and we're not capable, and we're so many negative thoughts surrounding us every day, because we live in a very negative world, negative society, you could put it that way. And our bodies are like made to like, protect us. So we have like anxiety and we're like, no, don't do that. You're not good enough. All that crap. And I was like, no matter how stupid we think we are, or how incapable, unworthy, whatever we think we are, or our brain, our stupid little like negative brain tells us, that little tiny part of us, we've gone through so much, been through so many experiences. I don't care how old you are, how many lives you feel like you've lived, how many experiences you've gone through. We've all been through something. We're not immune to life's struggles and to life's ways of teaching us things. You could, claim it as God, the universe, life, however you believe that way. We're not immune to life's lessons. And because of this non-immunity that we all have, of course, some of us get luckier than others, but we all have the knowledge to like learn and grow and progress. And that sounds it sounds better than it actually is, because of course it's much harder when you live it and you suffer through it. But it definitely, there's that something in us that helps us to become better, that motivation, and sometimes to get that motivation is to struggle through something, even if it seems like it's impossible and it's hard and it's we don't see a way out. It's still possible. Like the whole, I know that there's this, I used to think that there were always, like, there wasn't always a solution for everything. I used to think that way constantly because it would protect me from thinking that I had to, progress to be better. Like it was a defense mechanism, a coping mechanism, you could say, more like. But once I realized that, oh my gosh, everything does have a solution, even if it takes years, even if it takes such a long time to find that solution or come up with the right means or resources for that solution, it doesn't mean it's impossible though. And it doesn't mean progress is impossible. And what I like to remind myself, because I have that stupid little negativity brain action going on sometimes, is that there is a solution no matter how hard it is, and progress is always going to be there. Maybe not perfection. Maybe you won't even get to where you're going, like exactly where you want, because, let's be real, we don't have a control over everything. We just don't. But that progress is there, and that keeps us going. That's like that motivation when you see those results of like working hard at something, whatever that may be. And that can be really discouraging though. It can be discouraging to only see a little bit of progress or not where you want to go. Or not like the type of, man, if only I could pick my struggle because I know I'd be good at this struggle instead of this one, that type of mentality. The overthinking of something when you already know that you're in it. Like it's frustrating. But I kind of like that we don't have an answer for everything though, because then we would either be overwhelmed more than we are now, which is crazy, or we wouldn't find the purpose and meaning in things, So as much as it's a kind of a bummer sometimes when we find ourselves in a situation or something happens to us without our control, because it usually is not within our control. And I like to think that most of our struggles, majority of them coming from life's lessons, are not our fault. It's just life beating us down or people hurting us, but that's still out of our control. But at the end of the day, it's like, that's not your fault, but look what you did to overcome that. And that's pretty crazy in the human condition, because I think we live in a world where people and media and society and pretty much everybody around us, everybody that's monitoring something, everybody that's in control or in charge of something, either wants to see someone succeed or wants to see somebody fail so they can get somebody's help, so that resources can be used. Again, I'm not talking about anything particular. This is just very vague. This is just patterns that I've been seeing. Anyways, so as much as that sucks, I mean, just know that you do have the power within you to come back from something. And on that topic of comebacks, since it's the new year, January 2024, and I know there was like a little trend going around that it was like ins and outs for 2024. So I wrote a couple of mine down. I posted them on Instagram on like January 1st or something, 2nd, 3rd, I don't know. And I would like to go over mine with you and explain why. And maybe you can implement these, or maybe you can think about your own and write out your own list. And I just put mine in my notes app. Oh, can we talk about how iPhone, like the update, they made a journal app? That's sexy. But we'll get into that later. Anyways, if you're a notes app girly like me, you know. But anyways, so these are I'm gonna start with outs, get the crap over with. Let's get the bad stuff out of the way. Outs for 2023 well, I mean, like 2024, yes. Like these are not coming back with me right now. They are staying in last year, okay? Okay, as much as humanly possible. So, my outs. Over questioning myself. A given. That's gross and I hate that. And I still do that, obviously. That's a lifelong journey, but I wrote it out and I'm like manifesting that I was going away because I question myself all the time. I doubt myself so often, which yes, we have to in some situations, but I do it like too much to where it like just severely distracts whatever I'm trying to do. So I'm just like, there's no point. Yeah, bye. Saying sorry too much. Ew. Ew. I used to think saying sorry was like an act of kindness. It's not. So that's out of context. That sounds horrible. But saying sorry, of course, is a good thing when you did something wrong. But saying sorry too much, like an over amount to where it's like, why are you even saying sorry for something that's dumb? Why are you saying sorry about how you feel about something or for speaking up or for, I don't know, being a human, being alive and saying sorry for that? No, that's embarrassing and I say no thank you. So I'm not saying sorry to things that are dumb anymore. Especially when like you have people in your life who talk to you and go, why are you sorry? And you're just like, oh, that's how you know it's bad. AKA that happened to me like 5 times the past few weeks. I'm like, okay, let me stop that. Diet culture. That's a big one. I think we can all agree that looking a certain way is not gonna last you long in life because we all get gray, old, and disgusting and wrinkly at some point. And I mean, disgusting. No, not really. But like, that's the thing. It's like we're so programmed to think that aging and our bodies changing and our lives, our faces, our situations, that changing is like the most horrible thing. But I'm like, that is probably the most natural thing to happen. And it's not our fault because that's just how we live and move. So, not saying I'm gonna throw out being healthy. I want to try to be as healthy as I possibly can to keep myself moving every day. But diet culture is so destructive, especially to women. And I don't need to explain myself because if you have a brain, you just know. It's all over Instagram. Look it up. Or don't. Actually, just don't look it up. Could have saved my 12-year-old self a lot of pain and suffering if I just like was like, hey, this is stupid and unrealistic. But anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. Okay, fear. Again, ew, fear, gross, hate that. It's such a common theme, like especially with like having anxiety or having depression. It is so easy to have fear as a ruler to either protect you or to just be like a cushion so that you don't have to do things or that you get out of things or you feel more in tune with like your senses, I guess you could say. But fear is not the answer. Fear is there as a response to things, but you can change that response. And that's a hard lesson I've been learning recently. But you cannot, yes, you can change that response in your head. And it takes a lot of hard work. So be gentle with yourself, of course. But I hope you know that those things you can tell them to be quiet because it's your brain. Your brain does not own you. You own your brain. Remember that. Next one, not saying what I feel. Like, am I just gonna just keep being quiet? No, I'm sick of that. I'm tired of that. No thanks. Next, mascara more than once a week. Okay, this is just a personal issue. But I hate mascara. I hate it so much. I'm like curling my lashes. I put on my mascara. It looks great. And then throughout the day, it just looks stupid and dumb. And maybe I'm not using the right one or something, but I just don't put it on anymore unless I'm like going to something nice or like I'm going out or something, but I don't wear it to school. I don't wear makeup to school. I'm too tired for that. And I'm trying to focus on appreciating my natural self more, because in high school, if you knew me, I wore 16 pounds of makeup to try to cover up my insecurities when the insecurity was just in me all along. Anyways, next, umbrellas. Being a Pacific Northwesterner, umbrellas are for soft people. I want to feel the rain on my face. Hopefully it's not like full of pollution from the clouds or something weird. I don't know. Science majors tell me how that works. If not though, umbrellas out. I don't care about getting wet. I don't care about my hair getting wet. That is, I want to diminish that belief that umbrellas are a necessary tool. I don't own one, and I'm gonna try to never own one. I don't know why this is a silly goal, but it just came to me. Okay, next one, gossip. That's a given. Let's not talk about people like they're, if you're talking about somebody like they're not there, but they're a human being that's alive and on the earth, like, that doesn't make sense. I mean, you can, trust me, gossiping's fun. Don't even lie and be like, no, it's not. That's awful, Payton. Yeah, it's awful, but we all do it. We all do it. Like, let's not pretend we don't. Okay, we're not all saints here. We're humans. Let's act like it. But there's a way to be more mindful in what you say about others, because what you say and put out there can come back to you. Words are very powerful. Don't ever think they're not, because they are. How do you think people survive? They have to tell themselves, I can do this. So don't be mean. I mean, there's a fine line there. Just don't be like yapping about somebody's business when it's not your business. Okay, next. Worrying about what people think. Yeah, this is a hard one for sure. When you worry about what somebody thinks, then your whole own opinion of yourself is gone, which that doesn't make sense, because you're that person. Aren't you supposed to, I'm supposed to be in charge of what I think of myself, you'd think, but we let other people rule that, and that can kill us. Like, that comfort zone of letting people dictate your own life is going to kill you. I don't know how, but it will. And just letting you know, nobody cares. In the best way possible, nobody cares about what you're doing every second of the day, because they're too busy caring what they think. And if they do care about what you're doing all the time, then girl, you got a fan. I don't know what to tell you. They're jealous, but you can just ignore that, because that's just immature. Anyways, the last one is survival mode. Been reading up and researching a lot about fight or flight. And fight or flight mode is kind of scary, but it's there for a reason. And we use it for trauma, or we use it for mental health issues that we have just haven't gone away, or we use it in tough situations that we find ourselves in, or things that happen to us against our control. Again, trauma, like, that's hard. And we need that as a protection to protect our brain so we don't explode into a million pieces, because that's essentially what it's doing in very, very basic terms. If we don't have fight or flight, our brain's gonna have an aneurysm, because we're under so much stress. So it's good in a way, but I don't want to be in that survival mode. I want to be in a mode where I can just live and enjoy myself and still be cautious, of course, and still be available to myself and available to others, of course, and be there. But I don't want to be in that mode where I'm like, okay, go, survive, just do what I can, because that's not living, that's just surviving. You get what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Okay. So now, after the outs, thankfully, there's a lot more happier and don't have to explain as much ins. So my ends, stuff I want to do or feel more this year and not be so I don't want to be like what's the word? I when these things happen or have the opportunity to happen, I want to grab that opportunity as much and as easy as I possibly can without stressing myself out, because these things make me happy and I know they will push me into a place of joy and not like stress. You know what I mean? Okay. So, first one, confidence. I mean, a given. I want to be more confident. I want to be more open and vulnerable and not feel the repercussions of embarrassment. I know I talked a little bit about this last time, about how being embarrassing is like so overrated and we should just be embarrassing because we're humans and we are embarrassing, and we should let embarrassment be cool again. So confidence. Prayer, that's just a personal thing, but also it's a source of peace for people, and I feel like just naturally more as I've gotten older, different ways of prayer, because you could definitely put that into so many different categories and so many different ways of doing that. It brings peace and soothing soothing to the mind. It's like a form of meditation in my eyes. That's why I like it. Night drives. It's, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for summer. But driving at night is just a whole different vibe. It's like, no, I don't need to go anywhere. I don't really have to like be anywhere, but it's if I'm going somewhere or coming home from something and it's just like at night I'm playing like nice music or listening to like a funny little podcast. Maybe you're listening to mine, I don't know. And there's just like lights and you see the stars and you're driving safe, of course, and you're paying attention. But it's just like there's a certain vibe there that is a form of like meditation. Like, you know how somebody's like, you just hear it from people like, I need to take a drive. It's like a way of getting away. And I want to use that more as a way of getting away instead of beating myself up or like staying in the bad situation. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on a little night drive. That's a good way to like calm your head down. Okay. Enough explanation. I put Notes app on here, but I'm starting to think that the Journal app will be my new go-to. If you haven't checked it out, update your iPhone if you have an iPhone. I don't like the logo on it though. I think it's stupid. They could have made it better, but that's just Apple. But like gives you reminders to like write in your little virtual journal every day, which I think is so cute. And I already have like a few entries in, and like it has like a code on it, so like you don't like people won't see, you know, so it's nice. It's great. I love journaling, and I think we should do it more because it's just better to get everything out on paper instead of bottling it up and then exploding later. I'm gonna go down the list more a little quickly because I'm not gonna explain everything and nobody needs to like hear every single thing. Board games, rain, laughing, the sun, jumping in the ocean, in the early AM, going to the beach more, Pacific City, forgiveness, listening, writing more. I mean, that's my whole thing. That's my major, but I seem to just not even do enough of it as is. And last but not least, comebacks. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Having a comeback, having not like a verbal comeback, not fighting with somebody, not a sarcastic, witty thing to say after somebody disses you. No, I mean, coming back from things that are hard and not letting those things that happened or will happen to you, not letting them define who you are. Coming back from things even when you don't want to, even when you feel like you're like, I look different, I feel different, I am different. Maybe not even in a way you want to be right now, but you still show up. You still get up and you show up. and that means something. And I promise you, as much as that feels so lonely in that moment, people recognize that. People see your effort, and life will see your effort. Your brain, your body recognizes that you put in so much effort every day. It will reward you. It will. But you have to believe that it will. You can't, as much as it's the big ask, if you tell yourself every day that it's not going to get better, then it won't. And that is so powerful. Words are so powerful. Intention is even more powerful, because intention is what is behind those words. So get up, show up, even if it's hard, even if you don't want to be there, even if you know it's going to be embarrassing or anxiety inducing, or it might not work how it is. It might not work how you think in your head. And I do this all the time. I put on my rose-colored glasses and I'm like, this is how this is going to go. And then I go, or I do this thing, and it's not that way. And I get disappointed, and then I want to give up. But I've learned that the joy is not in how you want the situation to go. The joy is in the unknown. Because I've looked back on experiences and I'm like, wow, that was so fun, or that was hilarious, or I cannot believe I went through that, or I can't believe I had the opportunity to do that on a whim, whatever happened, spontaneity, whatever experience, or maybe it was with a friend or by myself, or, you know, maybe it happened at school, but I didn't plan for it. Does that make sense? Of course, you need to plan for things. Of course, it is so important to take into account plans and making sure we're on the right track for certain things, so we don't, like, you know, just have no clue what we're doing. But don't have this expectation for every single thing and how it'll go, because I promise you it's not gonna go that way. But that's how you get those good stories. And yeah, a big learning, a big lesson for me this past year that I just kept being so upset about, and I finally like wrapped my head around it, was that, yeah, it's not gonna go how you plan. It's not, but it's okay. Stop fighting that. Like, again, yes, I wake up and I go to school and work every morning, and I'm like, this is how things are gonna go. And maybe they will go that way to a point, but it's really never what you expect. And I know more people need to know that, because the more people that know that and invite that type of energy in, that, yeah, not everything is going to go as perfectly planned, then we would live in a happier world, obviously. People want control so bad, which is true and makes sense why. But, I mean, you know, behind all the tall buildings and all the universities and all the jobs and the money and the bribery and the manipulation and the you know, big cities, we're still on a planet made from dirt and grass and trees and wildlife and water, and we still need those things. So why would you expect things to be everything you need them to be when they're not? And you cannot control something that you didn't make. So, you know, as much as we want to understand ourselves, it is so important to realize that we are also kind of an unknown thing, and we're not perfect. We are not perfect. And we don't live in a place that's perfect either. So once you stop expecting that perfection, you'll be fine and you'll feel better, because then you won't be worrying so much and realizing that you're like, why am I failing? Maybe it's because you're expecting this thing that's you can't grasp, because it's not within your reach. It's not something that is possible. But it's not supposed to be. You're supposed to go in a different direction. And I find that going in a different direction, like, what is it? Rejection is just a form of redirection. That's what they say. Whoever says that, I just like read that on Pinterest from time to time. It's just redirecting you. Whatever you're failing at, whatever you feel like you're not cut out for, whatever seems too hard right now, maybe you are cut out for it. But it's a learning curve, it's a learning process. And let's stop expecting to be so good at everything. I'm sick of that too. That's an out. Being good at everything. I don't want to be good at everything. Once I'm good at everything, there's nothing else to do. That's stupid. It's a stupid, stupid thought. So, what did we learn today? I gotta go to work. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. You're great on your own, but you'll be even better if you let all those expectations go. And, yeah, you're doing great. I promise everything's gonna be fine. But it is important to start now on training your brain to be in your best interest instead of others, instead of what you think you should be focusing on. What do you want to focus on? And what do you know will help you? And how should you focus on that? Just more mindful thinking, intuitive thinking, and get more sleep. That's another thing. I need to go to bed earlier and get more sleep, because sleep is like how you become a better person, I'm pretty sure, because every time I get enough sleep, I just feel like a better person. Yeah. Go with your gut and remember to be grateful for the little things, and tell people that you love them, and don't be afraid to do so. And realize that embarrassment is kind of overrated and it doesn't matter, and you're gonna be fine. So, yeah. That's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in on this little talk with me. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about next week, but we'll figure it out, because that's what we do. We figure it out and we don't expect perfection. Okay, so tune in next week. I believe my podcast is coming out on KOUG Radio Mondays, like after 4. I think it's like 4 to 5 my shows air. But yeah, stay up to date on that. We updated our website, KOUGradio.org. Go check it out. It's dope. It's really dope. And there's a lot of great shows and great people on there that talk, and I love listening to them, and I know you would too. So go check it out. And yeah, hope you have a great day. I hope you realize that you're doing great and you're just fine. Go drink some water. Go tell someone you love them. Go touch some grass. Go touch more grass. Okay. See you next week. Bye.